Specifically, former President Buhari must be given credit for his achievement so far in these two areas. We thank him for this. Apparently, the former president believes that the administration does not deserve a pass mark in the area of the economy, which is the third of our three-pronged campaign promises. We have no doubt that in the face of massive challenges in this area, this administration has availed itself very creditably. We believe that Obasanjo, because of his very busy schedule, not have been fully availed of developments in the government's effort to revamp the economy, which was battered by the consequences of over-dependence on a single commodity, as well as unprecedented pillaging of the treasury. Today, most of the indices by which an economy is measured are looking up. Permit me to say, however, that Nigeria would not have exited recession through a mere order, or if this administration had not made use of good Nigerians who could help. The administration is making steady progress in its determined effort to revamp the economy, and the results are showing.
A rich continent, blessed with lots of natural resources, filled with beautiful people, different cultures, and exotic wildlife, but so often misrepresented. Like other continents, the problems abound, but its ability to weather the storms, smile in the face of adversity, and rise again is second to none. Get the true African stories only on this station. Network Africa, bringing Africa to the world.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, I did tell you that we have another part of Professor Sage's interview, telephone interview, which I had with him earlier on about, well, what the former President Olusegun Obasanjo said and his criticism of the Buhari government. Well, I allow you to listen to this part and we'll come back to the conversation with Professor Banji Akintoye. Take a listen now. All right, so Prof, he made mention of a few issues and the manner in which this government has handled them. Particularly, he said the president appears to control a nepotic court in his government, in his appointments, and the people who work closely with him.
Well, on the issue of headsmen, I do not believe that the president is indifferent. That is simply making up a story in order to run him down by the very puerile allegation that he's also a Fulani man. That, this is a statesman, this is a head of state. That sort of sentiment should not arise today. If he has not been public about his activities in that regard, that does not mean that he has not been doing anything. We may say he has not been publicly active enough. Like every other government, the method they use in doing anything, in approaching anything, could, in our view, be faulty. All we can do is to ginger him into more activity. But to say he has done nothing, I think is a very, very unfortunate and unfair statement. On the issue of appointments, yes, at times I'm a bit uncomfortable, but particularly the last set of appointments, the last appointment involving the NIA, when somebody analyzed on Sunday that the heads of two other strategic security organizations come from Katsina, and this man is also from Katsina, I think that makes me a bit uncomfortable. And I believe those surrounding the president have misadvised him on that. That I accept. But all told, this government is the best government we have had since 1999. There's no question about that. The only thing is, you see, the government is very modest. They are so quiet about their achievements. I don't know why. Why are they shy of coming out to say what they have done? They've done a lot of things, but no, people don't know because they are quiet about it.
Would you advise that President Buhari should run in 2019?
We have no other choice right now. He's the best candidate we have, particularly if he runs with Professor Shimbajo. That combination is by far the best Nigeria can come up with for now.
Professor Sage, a law professor, where he also had a committee fighting against corruption. Let's get back to the conversation with a former associate of late Bafemi Awolowo and historian, Second Republic Senator Professor Banji Akintoye. Thank you so much for your time. Quickly, with the amount of time we have left, a lot of things that former President Obasanjo said, advising the president to take a deserved, want him not to run again, for Nigeria to move forward. He knows that APC and PDP are wobbling. He also did mention a new movement, which he says might move into a political force. Well, with all of this, you heard what Professor Sesage also said about the fact that this government perhaps is the best since 1999. And he also said that the president should run in 2019 and is perhaps the best option Nigeria currently has.
I don't know. Professor Saga is a friend of mine. We've been friends from childhood, more or less, from undergraduate days. And then we were professors together in Ife. He's one of the best in his profession. I don't know what to say. I don't want to criticize my friend, but I will go back to President Buhari and say that this president does not seem to know or understand Nigeria, does not seem to care about the suffering of people, and has no clue at all about managing the economy. And if I were to stand in front of him as a fellow citizen, a man of my, who belongs to my generation, I would say, brother, you can't do this job.
Just like the former president said.
I would say to him, my dear brother, you cannot do this job. You have no idea how to do it. Our country is perishing under you. I would advise that you resign.
Professor,
not even talk about standing election in 2019. No.
You think he should not stand elect for a re-election?
I think he should resign right now.
That may be harsh. If you look at the indices, Professor, maybe those figures will disapprove of what you're saying. If you look at some of their issues on economy, for example, look at the tons of production in agriculture, perhaps the importation of rice that they've had, the issue of ease of doing business. We've moved 24 places. The issue of TSA, how much Nigeria has saved. These are figures. These are facts. They are not imagination, Professor.
Nigerians are rated in the world as among the lowest in access to electricity, access to water, access even to refined petroleum products, access to good quality roads, access to dependable public service, access to security, access to everything good. A group that calls itself the something bank, poverty assessors in the world, say that Nigeria is now near the bottom among the countries where there is extreme poverty in the world. and people come and say, oh, we produced a little more rice this last year than the year before. Well, no. The economy is doing poorly. Nigerians are poor and suffering.
All right, Prof.
And nobody needs to tell us.
Prof, let's round up the conversation on this note. Former President Obasanjo suggested a movement which might get into a political party if it will. Do you think that's the right way to go?
I think so. I agree. That's another matter about which I agree with former President Obasanjo. APC is not a party. It's just a contraption that was brought together to produce Buhari as president. After that, it disintegrated.
What about PDP?
Buhari is not using APC as a factor in the government. PDP has so mismanaged our lives in the past and has such a hideous record of corruption that to think that Nigerians will, after one term, vote for a party like PDP is egregious. No, it cannot happen. What should happen is what former President Obasanjo is suggesting. Nigerians need to get together, put themselves together, and find a way to elect a totally different slate in 2019 that will lead Nigeria, one, to restructure the country so that we can release all the tensions and two, to bring security into the land.
Professor,
we need to have security in our land.
I'm afraid we're out of time, but it's always a pleasure having you talk to us on some national issues.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Professor Banji Akintoye.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Many thanks, everyone, for being part of it. On behalf of the team, I must thank you, everyone. I'm Sean Akimale. Bye-bye.